Alright, so Super Bowl 59 took place, and we had plenty of things happen from the game itself to the halftime performance by Kendrick Lamar. And the first thing that we can start off with is that when the game has started, we got this graphics here on the scoreboard. And dude, it was just like the most simple thing. Looking at this, well, there's just no aura to it, right? Nobody really liked it. And it was like noticeable right away as how unlikable it was. I don't know who came up with this design, but I just didn't enjoy how it looked, and other people didn't too. We got this meme here of the Super Bowl LIX scoreboard. And it's just Rowley, Jefferson, waving at you like everything's chill, and then just looks down like, what am I looking at? And then the fonts that they had for like the statistics being shown, and we got here this guy saying, is this the font from Fortnite? And it really did look like it. And as the game was starting at the first quarter, we already had some controversy as we had this clip take place. So puts his hand on the Chiefs guy's head there, and the guy falls. And Eagles guy here catches the ball, and it basically gets canceled out because Eagles guy here puts his hand on the helmet of the Chiefs guy falls because of it. And while the referees did call it like, okay, we're gonna cancel this play, pretty much everyone else was against that call because I mean it was like a long pass, and they just didn't see that it was that tough on the Chiefs guy here. But either way, this was one of the first instances where, or pretty much this was like the only instant that was like really controversial throughout the whole game. And then, you know, everybody came into the final game here thinking that the referees were going to help out the Chiefs. And, you know, lo and behold, like in the first quarter, we already had this happening. And it got a bunch of people to start complaining on X. And, you know, with this case here, yeah, even someone like me could see like, okay, this was I don't know about that referee call there. That's a little bit too much in the Chiefs. On the Chiefs side, we had Charlie, aka Moist Critical here, saying, immediately dog shit call to help the Chiefs. Got me so mad. I re-downloaded this app just to bitch about it. So Critical making a return to the X platform just real quick just to make that post about it, calling out the refereeing call that took place. But as the game went on, we then saw that Kai Cenat had met Tobey Maguire, aka the OG Spider-Man from the 2000s. So we got this picture of them here, and it went pretty viral as the picture got over 5 million views and over 500k likes. And the game went on, you know, it then got into the second quarter time, and the Eagles were now pushing up their scores as they were up now 17-0 against the Chiefs. And throughout the game, they were just like being dominant and stuff, you know, defense going strong or whatnot on the Eagles side. And then even had people like Aiden Ross come out and start saying stuff like, bro, I've never seen the Chiefs play this bad. What the fuck is going on? So the Eagles catching the Chiefs by surprise, and a lot of the viewers by surprise too, as to how they were already getting a bunch of points early on against the Chiefs. And the game went on and got the first two quarters done, where the Eagles were now up 24-0 against the Chiefs at halftime. So a pretty dominant performance shown by the Eagles here, not even letting the Chiefs get a single point on the board. But now, as you can see here, it was halftime, and that only meant one thing for the Super Bowl, and it was that we were now going to be getting into the Super Bowl halftime show, with this here being the one and only Kendrick Lamar. But yeah, he takes the stage here, and we then get a shot of Samuel L. Jackson coming out as Uncle Sam, helping to open the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime performance. And Kendrick performs some songs that he's done, of course, like Squabble Up and a couple of other ones. But the big question that was on everybody's mind just watching, is he going to play Not Like Us? So Kendrick performs a few more songs, and Aiden, who is a really good friend of Drake's, as the Kendrick performance was going on, Aiden posted on his second account, this Kendrick halftime show is the worst I've ever seen. So Kendrick's just getting into it, but Aiden over here coming on defense of his boy Drake, or probably not even in defense of his boy Drake here, he was just like kind of just calling out Kendrick. But Aiden hasn't really been too fond of Kendrick ever since the beef last year with Drake. So as people kept asking themselves, is Kendrick gonna play Not Like Us? Is Kendrick gonna play Not Like Us? Kendrick, in the middle of the performance, had a little story going on where in the midst of the performance, he said, I want to play their favorite song, but you know they love to sue. And then as he says this, a little bit of the Not Like Us instrumental plays in the background, and then Kendrick goes on to perform just more songs, some with SZA. But then, what everybody was waiting for, Kendrick did in fact go on to play Not Like Us, and not just any part of the Not Like Us track, but the actual part where he's calling Drake an EDP and then does the A minor line.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up the score.
And yes, Kendrick does go on to, as I said, do the rest of the popular part of the song, arguably the most popular part of the song. And there was this one part when Kendrick says, say Drake. He looks right at the camera and drops up, as this guy here says, probably the most mischievous grin ever.
I hate you like I'm young.
So it looks directly right into the camera. I was actually kind of surprised that they did let him say like the Drake, like dude, just a full-on diss track. And then they allowed Kendrick to name drop Drake And not only that, but Kendrick just drops this really diabolical smile just to the camera in 1080p, 4K, or whatever cameras they were rolling, 8K, however you want to see it. They really got to release the full-on super HD high quality picture of this moment, dude. But yeah, even Fantana over here spoke on the smiling moment. Here he says, staring down the lens during the Drake line was diabolical. Again, here we get like the full-size image, the vertical picture. And yes, Kendrick did go on to say the most popular lines of the song. Kendrick Lamar in the whole Super Bowl stadium screaming A minor.
Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
So they do allow Kendrick to say that A minor line. They do cut out the part where he says pedophile, but you know, they really allow Kendrick to play the song and then say that, which I mean, it was almost like a given that they were going to allow him to play it, since the Grammy Award shows gave him Grammys for the track itself. But just seeing it happen, wow to see. And Aiden just still mad about the Kendrick going after his boy Drake. Aiden said here, Drake revived Kendrick Lamar's career. And then when this Olga Pataki person here responded to Aiden saying that Kendrick's halftime show is the worst he's ever seen, Olga over here responded with, you white, we don't care. And Aiden, as you see here, says, you're black, I don't care. So just starting to go off on people that were responding to him here, pushing back against him. Olga over here then responds to that saying, bitch, I'm Mexican, with a bunch of laughing emojis. And Aiden, not holding back, says, you're still fat as fuck. I don't give a fuck. Olga then continued on the interaction here by saying, hey, you still raw chicken, bitch. And Aiden, he puts a bunch of question marks. He says, girls are not funny. You're fat, disgusting well. I'm down so much money. I'm taking it out on you. You deserve the hate. Fuck you. Suck a dick. So Aiden showing that he was down a bunch of money, presumably for putting the money on the Chiefs. And they were just down a lot. And probably had like a bunch of other side bets too. Probably some parlays. But Aiden down a bunch of money, taking it out on this Olga person. And she, well, I guess the last actual interaction here between the two was, she said here, LMAO, like if I care, bitch. But not everybody was against the Kendrick halftime show. Stephen A. Smith here said, OMG, at Kendrick Lamar did it. Not only did he rock the beat of Not Like Us, he sang the lyrics. He did it. Mentioned Drake by name too. Aw damn. Hell of a halftime show. The brothers showed out. Hashtag salute. And a bunch of people agree with him here, giving him 91,000 likes on the post. And an interesting clip that then came out after the halftime performance took place there was of this clip from the streamer Los Pollos, where this clip was coming out where Los Pollos had predicted the exact way Kendrick Lamar was going to perform at Super Bowl 59 a couple of days early.
This is what's going to happen with the Super Bowl halftime show. Ready? Not Like Us is going to be the second to last song. A couple times in it, Kendrick is going to like do some weird ad-lib thing with like maybe a woman speaking or something, talking about, oh, are you going to play it? Oh, he's not going to play it. Is he going to play it? Is he going to play the song? Then he plays it, whatever. And then the part where they say pedophile in the song, he doesn't say pedophile, and then like a noise happens. So who knows what's going to happen there. But yes, he is going to play Not Like Us. He is. But I mean, we knew he was going to play Not Like Us because that's the reason he has the Super Bowl, bro.
So Willow's saying that stuff in the previous clip that I just showed you. I wonder if he actually probably knew something about it, because after the Super Bowl happened, Academics, Drake's probably like Drake's biggest fan, and with the Kendrick beef going on, Ak has just been like constantly going after Kendrick as well. But Academics here, after the Super Bowl had happened, went off on IG Live saying that the NFL is attempting to sue him for leaking Kendrick Lamar's halftime show script early. So I think he leaked this halftime show script on a stream, but it's like a 3-hour whole long stream. I haven't seen a clip of it, but he did like a 3-hour long stream, and I think that's where he leaked it. But Academics talks about leaking the script and how what now here says that the NFL is attempting to sue him.
I told y'all it was gonna happen. It fucking happened. Let me tell you how I got that nigga Kendrick's fucking Super Bowl performance. A nigga who worked at the fucking arena is a chat nigga. The NFL hit me. Act, we gonna sue you. Well, dude, I told him, I said, I'm gonna call him Drake. No, I Drake my mans, but y'all gonna sue me? Because I don't sue. Actually, I would sue. I'm playing. Actually, I would. They sent me an email this morning. They said, don't mention the track list. Because apparently when we leaked it, they got paranoid. You know what I did? I went live on Rumble. Shout out to Rumble. I went live on Twitter, and I leaked that bitch.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what stream he's necessarily talking about. I don't know if it's the stream that he did earlier this night on the night of the Super Bowl, or if it was a couple of days before. But yeah, with Los Pollos having that kind of prediction there, it kind of makes me wonder, did he probably gets something from Mac or from maybe another source, maybe the same source I got it from Mac. But I don't see why they would be hitting up Los Pollos. But Ack here did apparently leak it. I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't seen any clips of him leaking it. But I mean, why would Academics lie about it? He said he did it on stream. So, but yeah, Academics apparently gonna get into some legal trouble by the NFL. But yeah, as a good amount of people were praising Kendrick's performance in the show that was there, at least on my For You page and just like seeing on my feeds, a bunch of people were not necessarily the biggest fan of the Kendrick performance. More so, they were actually just calling it boring, kind of like uneventful, that kind of stuff. It was just like not up to par as to what they thought it was probably going to be. Here we got Kira posting like a whole feed of people criticizing the performance. Kendrick's Super Bowl performance, plays his worst songs, carried by SZA, carried by Drake, overall 3 out of 10 performance. Drake gonna win this lawsuit. Should've just had Wayne up there sounding like a cigarette. This shit is fucking trash, LMAO. This halftime show fucking sucks. So a bunch of people just not liking the halftime show overall. Now me personally, we'll get into it. I mean, it could have been way better, but once I show you like the track list that they had, I'll say why I think it could have been way better than what it was and why people aren't liking it. But yeah, right now, at least from what I'm seeing, it's like more of a portion of people just like digging into the Kendrick halftime performance. Mike Malek over here, who was at the event itself, posted this video here and said, "Kinda snoozy. I know Drake happy right now." And it's the halftime show taking place, and right now Mike is just gonna show like the crowd and how they seemingly don't seem like they're into it. Oh, you got a couple like here. But mostly everybody's just like standing and recording. Then again, dude, okay, so to Kendrick's defense here, these people are here for a football game. They're not like, they didn't necessarily fully buy tickets for a concert where they're just going to be like jamming out. Like, I don't know what Mike fully expected them to be like, just like jogging around, dancing everywhere. I don't know what he was expecting, but at least they were standing. It could have been worse. They could have been sitting. They could have just been on their phones. I mean, I don't know what Mike was like expecting here. I don't know how like previous performances have been as well, but it's probably like the same thing. Like everybody's just like standing, just like vibing a little bit. But yeah, I don't know what Mike like really wanted them to do here, but he says that. And then we also got a POV from Duke Dennis, who was at the show as well. This caption here by Fearbook says, "Duke Dennis was shocked when everyone at the Super Bowl yelled a minor during Kendrick Lamar's performance." See, like these two here are vibing.
Here you go. Yo, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Bro, that's fucked up.
So we get that clip there from Duke. And now, like I was saying, like a bunch of people were still not the biggest fans of the Kendrick performance there. But now in like an interesting narrative that I saw from this post here, and it kind of now is in my mind, is that this person here said, "This halftime performance is so bad, it might save Drake's career." So that's an interesting take to have. So Kendrick has just been pretty much on top of this beef with Drake. He's just been like at the top of it, taking W's everywhere. But with that performance, they're not being the most hyped up show that it could have been. And then people just like raving on it, just digging at it, dissing it, not putting respect on it, and just like going after it. It might be enough to actually make Drake push up, no pun intended, to a higher level as to like where around Kendrick is at. Now, with that, I'll just say real quick, I think Drake could have like his career saved if like next year, the following year, like he does all good this year, like doesn't really get into any other controversies, drops a fire album, and everybody's just loving him again. And then next year, Super Bowl 2026, he goes there and then puts on a show that's like, well, everything's opinionated, right? But puts on a show that's like way better than what Kendrick had, and everybody's just loving it. There's like almost like nothing bad to say about it. I think that will actually be enough to like kind of like save Drake's career or like push him to a higher level. But that's just if the NFL hits him up. And even if they do hit up Drake, I wonder if Drake would even accept it with what they allowed Kendrick to do this year. But that was just a thought that I had in my head. But yeah, the halftime show happens. It gets roasted a lot and criticized a lot on social media, and we even had articles already start coming out minutes after the halftime performance was already done. Look at this, 7:42 p.m. We had articles already coming out saying that Kendrick Lamar was slammed for having the worst halftime show ever during Super Bowl 2025 performance. So people were already on this case. And one thing that I thought about too was, well, X now, the X platform, has been more, I wouldn't say like overrun, but it has had more of a presence of people on the right wing side of things, or at least people that look like they're on the right wing side of things. So, I mean, you see this meme here. You can already tell what type of political party they're in. And Kendrick has been critical of Trump in the past multiple times. And now we got like a very large portion of, let's just say, of this kind of demographic going after Kendrick, saying that it was awful. But I mean, I don't think people like this would be knowledgeable of Kendrick's discography. And we had this Corey guy here mocking them, basically like the people that are saying awful halftime show are just like looking like this. But where I think a good point was actually brought up, or a funny / interesting point to look at, was when FaZe Lazy here said, Drake's sitting watching this whack-ass halftime show knowing he revived Kendrick's career, made millions in the process, and has a 12-inch hog in his pants. Okay, I don't know about... I mean, yeah, I mean, this just showing that Drake is probably just like chilling right now. Maybe he was like, he probably did wake up and was like, oh, fuck, like, man, today's the Super Bowl day. I mean, we'll just get through this day. But after seeing what the reactions are, I think Drake is chilling right now. And right now he's in Australia too, so I don't know, it's just kind of funny thinking that Drake had to leave all of North America. Well, I don't know about had to, but like he kind of chose to leave North America at around the time of the Super Bowl when Kendrick was to be performing at the halftime show. But either way, like what Lazy said here, like Kendrick is kind of getting dissed online for that halftime show, and Drake's just chilling with his hundreds of millions, right? He's worth hundreds of millions, especially after that UMG deal. But yeah, Drake is chilling. And yeah, like I was saying, he's in Australia right now. He's doing like a concert tour up in the continent / country over there. And it's also, Drake here is with Eddie, who is better known as the co-founder of Stake and the CEO of the Kick streaming platform. The net worth that it shows that he has is 1.8 billion. So he's pushing to be a multi-billionaire. But either way, like, billionaire is already impressive enough. And Drake is seen here with Eddie and another co-founder of Stake and Kick, Bijan Tehrani. And for those that may not know, Drake is partnered with the Stake platform, and they do pay a lot. They do pay a lot. I'll just leave it at that. They're in the business of gambling, and to sponsor people like Drake, you already know that Drake has got to be getting that good money. But yeah, Drake is in Australia with these guys here, also in that, and likely doing business as well. But like I say, he's also doing a concert, which I got this TikTok on my For You page, and then it really has Drake just seeming like chill while this like stuff with the Not Like Us track is going on still in February of 2025. So last week we had Not Like Us winning 5 Grammys and now being played at the Super Bowl, and Drake is just over here just chilling with his fans at his concert, and it's actually kind of wholesome here. Like, I'll show some bits and clips from this TikTok here.
I see 2 sides. I see one that has my son's name on it, and then I see another one behind it that says, "Kiss me, it's my birthday." You see that sign right there? We'll start here with you, because you showing a lot of love to my son. On behalf of me and Adonis, well, on behalf of me and my son, we're going to give you 25 grand for your family. Yeah.
25K.
And then for the girl in the back, she has a "Kiss me, it's my birthday" sign. I can't really see you from here, so I can't judge if I'm gonna kiss you. I can't really see you. It's a tough read on the kiss. But what I am gonna do is, I'm gonna give you 20 grand, and I'm gonna pay for a birthday dinner for you and all your friends. Tomorrow night. And if you want, you can come back to the show again, both of y'all, if y'all want. We'll get you tickets. Australia, I love y'all, Melbourne. This is real love.
So Drake here is just having a pretty good time with his fans, giving back to his people in his audience. And just an overall pretty wholesome clip here, like I was saying. Gives money back and stuff, and not just any money, dude, tens of thousands of dollars just for the people there having like signs of it, Drake's just showing love. But yeah, that's what Drake has been up to since then. And then we got this clip here where it said that Sneeko had dropped a video saying after Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance, it's obvious that Drake is better.
I'm very glad we don't need to pretend anymore. Drake is better than Kendrick Lamar. I'm like you, I don't give a shit about football, but I watched the halftime show to see the cultural shift happen. The only lyrics the crowd knew out of all of Kendrick's discography was A minor. But when he did the Wakanda Forever performance, everybody fell asleep. People have never been more tired of the inauthenticity. 10 years ago, a Super Bowl halftime show with George Floyd vibes would have received a standing ovation because people didn't know what white guilt was yet. But in today's America, nobody wants to see a performance that's equivalent to a BLM protest. They want to dance. It's the same reason when they see America's former sweetheart on the big screen, everyone boos like she's Hitler. But when the media's most hated president ever waves, everyone starts cheering. This is a clear sign of a cultural shift happening.
Okay, yeah, I see what Sneeko means on some of the things that he said. But yeah, there was that shift, yes. Especially when you look at the X platform, as I have been showing for this video, just for the past several or so minutes, of just like people going after Kendrick now and being in support of Drake. Now, I don't think really a lot of people, I did see some people say like DEI halftime performance. Okay, I mean, people are, I don't know if they're like rage baiting or they're being genuinely serious. But yeah, I definitely do see when Sneeko said that there is like he says like a seismic shift, right? That there is a shift in the culture that I see here. I'm seeing it happening right in front of my eyes. Now, the interesting thing will be when this Friday, when Drake and PND have that album come out, I wonder how the reactions are going to be. Because if Drake drops some heat, if Drake in the tracks that he's in is heat, oh man, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think like Drake gains a whole lot of his, well, I don't think he really necessarily lost a lot of fans, but he gains like a lot of the people back and saying that like he's fire, like he's always making bangers and stuff, and Drake is just that guy. But we'll see what happens on Friday, and I just got a feeling that he's like, dude, this right now it's the time for Drake to lock in. If there's any time for Drake to lock in to make heat, it's now. And I think he's actually going to go through with it on Friday whenever the new album with PNG drops. But I mean, we'll see there. But I think, yeah, the shift is happening now for Drake's reputation to be seen more as a positive light. I don't necessarily know about Kendrick's being in a negative light, because I think he'll do good with the tour coming up. But Drake's reputation, I think Drake's reputation is now on the come up, as long as he doesn't do any fuck shit. Like with the lawsuits that he was pulling where he was like bringing up YouTubers' name and stuff. I think he's kind of got to lay back on those lawsuit things. Unless if he's genuinely really has cases against him. But I don't know. I think Drake is on the come up in terms of reputation, because last year he got just wrecked. I think Drake could really come back. And then when his next solo project comes up with him, I think he'll be like fully back and shit, dude, probably like bigger than ever. But that's just the thing that we'll have to wait and see. All right, but now going back to the Super Bowl talk, we got the whole set list of the Kendrick tracks. This is what I wanted to talk about a little bit too, dude. So Kendrick, a lot of the tracks here, it's just like tracks from the past 8 years. Let's see, Whack Them Heroes, that's GNX Unreleased Snippets, GNX, Squabble Up, Humble from the Damn album from 2017, DNA from the Damn album, Euphoria last year. I was like, dude, I kind of marked that whenever he played Euphoria. I was like, oh shit, dude, Euphoria is such a banger, man. It's the lyrics in it are so good, the transition in the beat, and then it's just like, dude, it's just such a good track. I would say that this is Kendrick's best track from last year. Sure, there's not like that's a favorite, but his best track was Euphoria, without a doubt, last year. Well, some from the GNX album can also be brought up here in that conversation, like Reincarnated. But Euphoria is just like the best track in my opinion. Man at the Garden, that's from GNX. Peekaboo from GNX. Luther from GNX. All the Stars from the Black Panther soundtrack album. Soundtrack, I think it was the soundtrack. But the album with Black Panther. Not Like Us, of course, from last year. And TV Off from GNX. So yeah, it's just a bunch of tracks from GNX. A couple of from Damn. There was just like none from his earlier works, like from Good Kid, Mad City, from To Pimp a Butterfly. But when he was at the Super Bowl the last time, a few years ago, he did play All Right, and he did play like some others. I think if I remember correctly, he did play some other tracks from GKMC and TPAB. But yeah, maybe that's why he didn't add him here. But still, like, I feel like he should have played like his biggest bangers, like All Right, even if you were playing it again, Play All Right, and just the other notable tracks that could get the people hyped up. But he's just playing like a bunch from GNX, which a lot of the audience members in there, I think it would be safe to say that a lot of the audience members that were at the football game, the Super Bowl game there, are not necessarily like the biggest listeners in hip hop, and especially catching the newest music from Kendrick that he had released with GNX from November of last year, just a few months ago. So, of course, not a lot of them were going to be like hyped up and everything, but even then, like still, at least they did show up with the Not Like Us, but it's not like us. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there with the track list here. Could have used a bunch more tracks from his more notable, iconic, and well, at the moment more notable and more iconic because they've aged well for the past decade plus with GKMC and TPAB. But yeah, he did have these tracks here just for more recently. And then here we had Kendrick celebrating after the iconic Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, but yeah, there Kendrick celebrating at the top of his game in his prime right now. Would this be his prime? Yeah, I think he's at his prime right now. So as long as he keeps it going and bro drops that new album, I mean, Kendrick, I see you with that Heart Part 6 on that GNX album. That was a surprise drop. Are we gonna get another album as a little anticipatory track there with the Heart Part 6? I don't know, dude. But we'll see if Kendrick manages to go up even higher. But yeah, that's that for the Super Bowl halftime show. But going back to the Super Bowl game now, the Chiefs were still down by a whole lot of points as they were going back into the third quarter. And we had people starting to talk about the Taylor Swift situation where her boyfriend Travis Kelce on the Chiefs. We had people like Jake Lucky here now poking some fun at it here saying that this Taylor Swift breakup song is going to be generational. So obviously a good amount of Taylor Swift's songs that are out there over the past decade plus throughout her whole career. A lot of the songs that end up becoming bangers and get a bunch of listens and everything, a bunch of popularity and just become iconic is whenever she talks about a breakup that she's had. So now with Travis's team here just getting blown out and Travis himself not even having a decent game, just had an overall bad performance objectively, people started making jokes that Taylor was not going to break up with him and be making songs about it, as we see Jake Lucky here saying. And what's interesting too is that before the Super Bowl had taken place, a couple of days beforehand, Travis Kelce was asked about Donald Trump attending the Super Bowl. And why this is a little bit notable here is because back in September, Taylor Swift had endorsed Kamala Harris, Donald Trump's opposing presidential candidate. Taylor, who is not a fan of Trump, endorsed Kamala Harris, and in response to that, Trump came out and said that he hated Taylor Swift. So it was interesting here when Travis Kelce was asked about Trump attending the Super Bowl, and Travis did not criticize the president at all and just responded to the question that was asked here with this.
So you tell us what your reaction was to finding out the president would be at the game on Sunday?
That's awesome. It's a great honor. I think, no matter who the president is, I know I'm excited because it's the biggest game of my life, and having the president there, it's the best country in the world, so that'd be pretty cool.
And so there he gave this pretty much a politically correct answer, not going after the president or supporting the president here. He was just saying, I'm just happy to have the president of the United States, no matter who it is, at the game, which I honestly, all right, dude, look. So I think this was just like a fair answer. There was nothing really wrong with what he said. This is the type of answer that I would give too. All right, but look, listen. I think I would even say this answer if, no, would I? I don't know. I think me personally, if it was me, I would answer the question a little bit different. Probably like, next question, I don't want to talk about him because, dude, the president said that he hates your girl. And that's, I don't know, man, that's pretty disrespectful. So I can see why people are kind of calling out Travis in that because it is his girl. And he just responded with this. But, I mean, he did give the professional answer. I can't really knock him for it. But in the terms of that Trump said that about your girl and responding with this, that's pretty messed up. Because, like, put yourself in this perspective. Like, you are a football player. You've been in a relationship with a girl for a couple of years. And, things are going really well between y'all. And then the president of the United States disrespects her and her name by saying that he hates her. And then you're just going to respond with a response like this? I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of other men out there would respond differently, but yeah, Travis was getting knocked for responding like this, and it just makes the situation now even more funny, and which is why more and more people are saying that she's probably like gonna dump him. I mean, I don't think so. This is just, at the end of the day, it's just a football game. Yeah, sure, it's the Super Bowl, but Bro's already won like 2 Super Bowls in the past, and one of them was with her, being with him. I don't know, you never know. But it's just funny to like think about, like, it'll be funny if it happens because of that. But this is like something that's being talked about, being memed about, and there was like a little funny narrative also going on that supposedly Travis was gonna propose. I don't think it was true. I think it was just like a little story, story that people just like kind of ran with it. Could have been true. I don't know. But here we got this meme here that says Taylor Swift after Travis Kelce proposes after getting 0 yards in a 48-0 loss. It is the part where whenever she came up on the Jumbotron, just this little meme here. But another thing that I also wanted to just kind of quickly cover up in here was that I agree with Optimus here. Well, this year's Super Bowl commercials, dude, I was on my phone like a lot of the time. Wasn't really paying attention to the commercials because, dude, they were just not really like super intriguing at all as like previous years. We got Optimus over here saying these Super Bowl commercials have been weaker and weaker every year, and I fully agree with that, dude. Just as the years come on, especially in the 2020s, as the years come on, the Super Bowl commercials has just been like so weak, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just like wanting to play more and more safe, or there's just like almost like no substance to a lot of them, man. And it's just like a lot of it just comes off as like tacky. It's like kind of cheesy, a little bit corny, but they come off so tacky and cheesy. I don't know if they got like to abide by specific rules for this specific show, but if they do, like, they gotta get some like new board members that are like in control of like the guidelines and stuff, and just like allow a little bit like more, I don't want to say like edgier stuff, but just like allow people to have like a little bit more freedom, because I feel like a lot of them are just like locked into these certain boxes in doing the commercials, and it just overall comes out as just like I've been saying, like just tacky. Like a lot of the commercials just seem so tacky, like as if it was made by like a 12-year-old kid, made for 12-year-old kids for the commercials. We gotta add some more edge to it, man. Come on. And a couple of Super Bowl commercials that were kind of controversial in themselves. Well, Hassan here, he talks about both of them. Hassan here says they got ads to stop anti-Semitism, and ads where Ye's telling you to go to his website to buy his latest Hitler merch. So what Hassan is referring to here, the anti-Semitism commercial, is this one here with Tom Brady and Snoop Dogg.
I hate you because I don't understand you.
I hate you because people I know hate you.
I hate you because I think you hate me.
Because I need someone to blame.
Because you talk different.
Because you act different.
Because you're just different. Man, I hate that things are so bad that we have to do a commercial about it.
Me too.
So this commercial here with Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady was getting dogged on a bit online, quite a bit. And then as Hassan was saying, we have that commercial talking about stopping anti-Semitism. And then we have Ye over here, who's just been going on a very anti-Semitic crash out on X over the past couple of days. Well, now he's deactivated his account, but who knows if he just like comes back like in the morning or something. But he's been crashing out over the past couple of days, going after specific groups of people, more specifically one sets of them. But then we then had Kanye West's very own Super Bowl commercial. So last year he had one. Last year I actually didn't see it on the TV. I don't know if I missed it. But then again, he had apparently he had another one this year. But again, I didn't see it. I don't know if I just like missed it, or I was just on my phone or something, or if I went to go do something. But I didn't really do anything. I didn't really go on to do anything else when the commercials were playing. So I don't know if it's just like I don't know. I didn't get this commercial. That's just what I'm trying to say. But apparently he had one because a bunch of people were posting about it, and it was this.
I spent like all the money for the commercial on these new teeth. Go to Yeezy.com.
Yeah, he just shouts out. It's just straight up, super simple video. Here says go to Yeezy.com, and ends it off with go to Yeezy.com. Super simple, and just like kind of like the one last year, not much to it. All the money just went into buying the commercial itself to get it into the Super Bowl commercial lineup. But yeah, we had Kanye there with that, and with to talk about the commercials there, we now go on to the final result of the game, which was the Philadelphia Eagles winning 40-22, beating out the Kansas City Chiefs, ending their dreams there of having a three-peat in the year of 2025. And with that score there happening, and with Mahomes having a pretty bad game there, I mean, just giving out interceptions and stuff to the other team, and you're just not having a very good performance there. Aiden Ross went on to speak about it when here he said, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Please don't ever compare Patrick Mahomes to him ever again. Travis Kelce hasn't done shit in 2 games. It's sad as fuck as well. On one of the first drives, Kelce drops a wide open pass. Domino effect. sad world, such as like kind of cooking the Patrick Mahomes there much more than anything else, and calling Tom Brady the GOAT. And after the game was said and done, President Trump went onto his Truth Social account and said that Taylor Swift had a tougher night than the Chiefs after getting booed out of the stadium. And what he's referring to here is when, as the game was about to start, or as the game was starting, 6:01 p.m., Taylor Swift was shown on the Jumbotron, and people around the stadium were booing her, and she just basically laughed it off. And these clips of this moment taking place was just going around on social media. So that's what Trump was referring to here, with the full post saying, the only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift. She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving. I don't think it really had much to do with MAGA. I think it just had mostly to do with the hate that she gets because they supposedly keep showing her on the screens whenever she's like at the football games. And then she's in this game here, she was Team Chiefs because she's with Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs, it's just an overall hated team throughout. I think it was more so that she was on Team Chiefs, why she was getting booed. But with that, let me just say that Taylor is pretty much like a lifelong fan of the Eagles. She's written about her having like a Eagles merch, a piece of Eagles merch, being an Eagles fan in one or some of her songs. But yeah, you could just Google Taylor Swift Eagles fan. And, there's just like some pictures here where she was wearing Eagles merch. And yeah, look, when you Google where is Taylor Swift from, it says that she's from West Reading, Pennsylvania. So yeah, pretty much grew into being an Eagles fan. But up until now, she's just like with the Chiefs because of her boyfriend. But yeah, that's that. Now with the Eagles winning, we then got not even reporters, we then got just live footage of them
Look at this. So
taking
this is
over
Broad Street, and if you're not
the
familiar with
streets.
Philadelphia, this cuts
Everyone in
through
Philadelphia
the
is outside
entire
celebrating the
center
Super
of
Bowl
town.
win. And just look at this, man.
This is a tradition. Crowds just packing this street. Now, in the past, the Eagles won in 2018. Rumor was that they actually had to grease the light poles to keep
ahead of
fans
time, right? In
from
preparation,
climbing up the light poles in their celebrations. No word if they're doing that, but they might be climbing on some buses here. It's not going to stop these Eagles fans. They are going to celebrate no matter what.
And yeah, you see them here just off celebrating, and it really fits in the meme of this one here where people were making like videos and picture memes and stuff saying that POV Philadelphia regardless if they win or lose. Well, this is from a few years ago, but I mean it still applies true to this day, where just the Philly fans are crazy now. Whether they win or lose, they just go off on the streets. Philadelphia at 2 p.m. on the Thursday. And then see another one. Philadelphia after the Super Bowl, regardless of the Eagles win or lose. But yeah, they went crazy here. And then also even more footage of them going crazy here as well. Taking down this light pole, traffic light pole. And beating it up as if just beating it up, man. And a year later they go on to just carry the light pole just across the street. And they try to push it up there. But as we'll see in a bit, they can't, so they just drop it. Just drop it on the ground, man. But yeah, just celebrating it up as the Eagles get a win on the night of Super Bowl 59. But if there was one person to talk about here that is also likely having a good time right now, who else but the biggest Eagles fans out there, BDP445 himself.